All right, hello folks. It's the stream time. It's stream time, and it's we're gonna hang out on the stream. So hi, welcome, and so here's what's happening today. Normally, Old Blood Noise, a pedal effects company, and pedals are things that we use as musicians, as guitar players, to modify our sound. I think a lot of you know that. I think a lot of you know about pedals and what they do. Potentially, we can talk about that if you don't. But I'd like to welcome my friends, Dave, who isn't from the company, but Dan is here from the company, Old Blood Noise. Let's say hello to them. Hi, you're on the stream, guys, men.
Hello.
Hello.
So Dave is a streaming friend of mine who's here to make this better because I like him. And Dan, what is your official position at Old Blood? You're like designer. What is it?
Yeah, I do all the digital stuff and some of the board layouts and stuff, and then run the supply chain as well. Although I'm currently teaching somebody else to do that, so I can
Wait.
focus more on the
So are
design
you
stuff.
are you tracking the Suez Canal situation closely? Is that affecting you?
It is not affecting us to my knowledge.
Okay.
So I don't think we have anything. It would only be like real long tail effects of like, so
Like
some suppliers, sources from somewhere, but
Yeah,
most of our stuff is air freight or in stock
Oh,
already.
really? Okay.
So,
I just heard that they're having to go down like on below South America now, the ships,
wow.
which is like that's really rough waters down there, and it's so far that you have to go. It's just fun. I think we're gonna have weird
crazy.
global supply problems in the next couple weeks. Anyway, glad that you don't have any pedals on the what is it, Ever Given, right? Is that the old
Yeah.
Ever Given?
It's like hot pants, I think, is the majority of the cargo. Like
Yeah.
spandex pants.
Yeah.
I know that sounds like a joke, but it's not.
Gummy Papa says Dan's role is also being one of the most attractive men on the planet. So that's
Wow.
pretty cool.
Wow.
You heard it here.
It's kind.
Yeah. So the only real plan here is we're hanging out, and well, so the other thing is that a couple of the Old Blood guys have just gotten their second vaccine shot, or they're not feeling great.
Yesterday.
So we're doing this. And yeah, so normally you guys would stream. You would have Seth would be running a production, and you guys would be playing and whatever. But
Be talking about some genre of effect and being like, here's the difference between two Old Blood pedals.
right, which is great and fun. But yeah, we're doing this because a lot of those guys are busy and not feeling good, which is great. We love that they don't feel good for right now.
We do?
Yeah, because they got the vaccine.
Oh, because it's for a good cause.
Yeah, we're super happy that they feel like shit, you know?
I see.
Yeah. So all we're going to do is hang out. If you have questions in the chat for Dan or Dave or me, that's fine, I suppose. But Dan is the treat here. We don't have Dan all the time. So
far, I've been called the most attractive man on the planet and a treat. I feel
so
very,
when are you going to have the opportunity to speak directly to the most attractive man, you know? And then, so also what we have too is Dave took a little survey in my Discord, not a survey, but we have a bunch of questions from my little Discord community that we can ask you, and we will ask you, and I'm sure they'll be really great questions. Yes, Fauci ouchies, that's correct, Will. We love them. Alsh got a minim a couple days ago. That's great.
Thanks.
Tell us about it. Tell us what you like about it, Alsh. Why did you get the minim? Why didn't you get the maxim? Wait, that's a
That's pretty good.
That's a magazine, not a pedal. Why didn't Dan turn into a metal zone? That's from Aaron.
Oh, because I've only had first dose so far, so I'm a DS1, and then I'll be a metal zone.
Oh, okay. Is that how it works? The first shot is a
so.
DS1? Okay.
That's my understanding. I could have misread, but
So yeah, I don't know. we're just here. This is as far as I've prepared. I got the scene laid out. Dan's here. The Zoom call is going. Who wants to? Okay, so Dan, you popped on here and said you've been messing around with a couple new prototypes, a couple new things. That's probably what people want to know about, which you probably can't say anything about.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think I can. There's because there's the thing you know about.
And there's the thing. There's another thing that I sort of know about, but don't really.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not even sure what that thing is.
And that is a trap.
That is it. Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and say that one?
Is it the one that it does this?
Yeah. Yeah. This stream, we're just gonna try to get you to slip up and give up something.
There's a utility device I've been working on that I mentioned in the Old Blood Noise Discord because some folks were talking about like somebody was working on kind of a DIY thing, and another person was like, yeah, imagine something that could do like this sort of thing. And I was reading it and I was just like,
you're like,
oh, this is a thing I've been working on for a while. I was like, I'll just go ahead and mention it. It's maybe finalized. Actually, just that was one of the protos I was working on today. But
nice.
If you're in the Old Blood Discord, you get a little inside knowledge.
Listen, folks, you might want to get in on that.
Speak out of turn. On other stuff.
Oh, you should.
But yeah, we've got a revision of a thing and a brand new thing and a brand new utility thing, and then the thing that you're familiar with.
A lot of things.
Yeah, it's been a fun week actually. Of like, I just happened to get a few new prototype boards in around the same time, and so this week has just been building them out, testing them, troubleshooting some different stuff. And,
so this is probably the biggest question that people probably have is like, when will people be able to know anything about anything you just talked about?
Yeah. That's a good question, because we actually this like just deep inside knowledge, we've always been a company that scrambles. We are like running a few things simultaneous on like, we know this project is happening, so we're working on the design and the artwork and the getting the right inventory for it and this and that, and then like it all just comes together all at once and we scramble to put it out, to tell people about it, make it happen, make production happen. And it has been a crazy year because obviously pandemic, some supply chain issues related to that, not related to the boat, but just everything has been very different for the last year. Not yet. Unfortunately, I was going to put some hot pants in this newest pedal, so may affect things.
Yeah, gonna miss out on that one.
But like alongside all of that, it's also been a really good year for like music instrument companies. We've been busier than ever. And so we're trying to figure out.
Yeah, we talked about that on your stream last week a little bit. Just like, it's so everyone's in their bedroom wanting something to do, so they buy some pedals. But then you're like, well, my knobs that I get from China, like I don't know where to get them anymore.
That was the only like non R&D thing I was working on this week is other knobs, which some people may have seen a post about how probably this summer we're going to run out of some knobs, and so pedals will look different for a couple months, and then we should be back on track.
Now, I think you can really say that a bit better. I think what you have is some special edition pedals that will be coming out. Limited colorway, whatever words you want to use.
If we know anything about limited production pedals from this year, it's that nothing can go wrong with that plan. Everyone will be happy.
Everyone will be happy with you. Yeah. Wait, Seth, is that you in the chat? Is that Seth on the Old Blood Noise Endeavors account? He says it looks good. Thank you.
Maybe so.
Thank you.
But yeah, just to finish that thought, like, so in terms of new product development stuff, we've realized that like the scramble is not going to work. So we've been talking about kind of tightening things up internally, and also maybe not teasing stuff as early, because we always point back to the white cap, which we brought with us to Summer NAMM, and then it disappeared, and then we totally reworked it and then released it 2 years later, or however long that took. And so we are trying to, like, we can tease things, talk about working on new things, but we're hesitant to like get too much into the details, because like even the thing we've been working on, it feels so close. Like we
Yeah.
talked about some changes. I'll have some. I'll get you the programmer to update that. The unit that you've got. We'll test it out. But
The
there's
one
still
that I've
sense
shown
of, like,
I've shown my stream the back of it
oh, nice.
where there's nothing on it, which I could do right now. No, I can't. Never mind. It's over there. I've been driving people insane by showing just the back plate of it where there's nothing.
But yeah, I feel like that one. I don't actually know. There's a few things that feel very close. So whatever one kind of gets past the goalposts first is the one that you'll hear about first. So that one feels really close. And then another thing that is probably the other thing you kind of know about. Is feeling pretty close as well. So,
Nice.
So yeah, hopefully very soon we'll be able to actually tease things a little more accurately. But yeah, join the Old Blood Noise Discord, because that's where you're going to see the most up to date.
And you have a link to that on your website? Do you have a link to that on your website somewhere?
I believe so. Or if not, we could. Whoever's on the Old Blood Noise account should just put that link in the chat right now.
You could do that. I'm gonna make you a mod, old Seth. So
I was just gonna do that, but
I just did it. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I want to see if, like, on your contact page, maybe. Let's see. No, not even.
Yeah, it seems like something that
But yeah,
would be up there, but I'm not sure where to point people. Like, yeah, go to our website.
Yeah, Seth post the link in the chat if you can. But yeah, and if people don't know what Discord is, like, it's kind of like Slack. They're like chat servers, text chat servers, but there's also voice channels and video chats you can do. But they're like little communities that people can just build and run. So there's the Old Blood Discord, there's my Discord, and they feel good. They feel like, you know, if you're older like us, you might remember some of the early days of the internet where things may have felt a little bit better than they do now. It feels nice. I don't know. It feels less heated. Feels like it's more just low pressure chatting in there. Get to learn about new Old Blood stuff that's gonna come out because you discuss them, and then Dan goes, "Oh shit, we're almost done making that, so I'll just tell you now," you know. So, yeah, it's cool. Someone had a question. Oh, Will says it's in your email newsletters too. So,
Okay, cool.
someone said, oh, Mount Vienna says, so does Dan think about a looper thing? So the Glau, or however you pronounce them, glue, whatever. They just announced a looper.
It looks very cool. I haven't done a deep dive on that, but I need to look into that a little bit more because it looks, very cool.
So like as a designer for Old Blood, do you feel like a pressure to do a looper, or do you have ideas on how to do an Old Blood version of that, or you're just like, I'm just gonna wait until?
Yeah, I think I feel a pressure to do a looper just because, I mean, loopers are a lot of fun and we use loopers all the time, and so it would make a lot of sense for us to create an Old Blood looper, but I alleviate the pressure very easily by saying, but I can't do it at this time. Because it's like all of our digital stuff right now is based on the FV1, and that just would not make an interesting looper. You would have 1 second of loop time and 3 controls, and it's just like it does really cool micro loop stuff. Like the looping in the mood is amazing. Yeah. Like what David Rollo was able to coax out of the FV1 was very cool there. Yeah. So that, in terms of something that's not a traditional looper with the FV1, very cool. But I think we have to use a different architecture, use something else to do our DSP to build a cool looper, which is another thing we're working toward. But it's not, I think we would get into a different architecture with some reverbs and modulations and some of the effects that we kind of know and love, and find interesting things to do with those, given more power, more like memory and processing ability and everything, and then find our space in the looper realm, because there's so many really good, really cool ones out there.
And Will just said in chat, he said, do you think the looper trend is here to stay? Which I feel like I have some thoughts on that, but I'm curious from a company or design standpoint, what you think about that.
Yeah, I guess I don't feel like it's a trend at the moment. I'm thinking of Blooper and the Glue Glue Lupe, I think it's
Lupe,
called.
yeah. What?
Lupe.
And I know like a Cooper's been teasing a weird looper. It seems like it's at least on the uptick. And Will says, I mean that by saying these new quirky loopers. Like it
Okay,
seems like
yeah. So
something
maybe,
is happening in this world, you know?
yeah, I could see that, how that, like, there's a small handful of kind of established loopers like the Dittos and the Boss series of loopers, but there's definitely an uptick now in weird loopers. I mean, it makes sense that we will continue to see weirder things that loop. You know,
Yeah.
I think looping as an element is probably gonna keep getting more common, just as people get more familiar with DSP, more companies are doing more involved DSP stuff, and it can become something that, you know, you're making a delay pedal, but you give it an infinite functionality, or, you know,
Right.
you're like your El Caps and your Volantes that do the sound on sound type thing. So pedals that have a looper element in them and loopers that have a lot of other elements in them, I think it seems likely that we'll continue to see more of that.
When do you again from the company design standpoint, like I feel like when even in my Discord and some of these other people and even Dave other people in chat who are doing similar things, it's like I feel like I'm hitting a weird in between where it's like I don't know that this is guitar playing, but it's not modular, but it's like it's kind of in, but so it's like tabletop. I'm not playing my guitar as much. But it's more process based. Like I don't know. I feel like there could be this. I don't know if it's a genre or a community or scene or whatever, but this new in between usage of these devices, and even to the point where like maybe you as a designer are like, oh, there's a new way to design for use cases now because there's now a new use case for pedals. Like, I'm not using my foot on this, and I think a lot of people are just like, yeah, I'm not stomping on any of these things anymore. This is something else, you know? And this is less of a tool and more of the instrument, I guess is what it is.
Yeah. I think I still have a like the antiquated guitar pedal idea where I always picture somebody stepping on it. But I think it varies from person to person, because like with the expression slider, I remember like Seth was like really pushing it, really excited about it. And I was kind of like, you don't like, sliders are cool, but I'm not like, it's not quite like connecting in my head until just seeing everyone's like more tabletop usage of it and just being able to have
see
that
Aaron
like
in
clear
chat,
slider.
Discrete circuitry, he's got 6 of them like on the front of
yeah,
the board,
exactly. Like
looks really cool.
The more I see it, the more I'm like, oh, this is really cool. I just didn't like, it's not something that like I personally use as much. I think I haven't gone from the floor to the tabletop yet. So so
well,
it's like not something in my personal world, but at the same time, I think there is definitely that, whatever we want to call it, a scene. It
just feels like something distinct, right? Like there's guitar players, and then there's this modular stuff, which Ken in chat is asking if there's anything Old Blood is tempted to release as a Euro rack module. But like this feels like something specifically in between those things, and you know, I don't know. At least from my creative usage output, whatever, you know.
Yeah, it's something that is sort of generative and interactive, but also still has to some degree that quality of like the guitar is the instrument, and then gets processed through a lot of, and you're kind of parallelizing mixing signal chains, but it feels like still that step removed from Euro rack where it just feels like everything is patched and everything else, and it's a little I don't know, more randomized or more like
fun.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I don't know anything about Eurorack really. I look at it and I'm like, oh, wow,
I really don't
like
don't
something.
either.
But
that's something when somebody asked, if we were looking into any Eurorack stuff, and we talk about it occasionally. Every once in a while, we have like a friend who's into Eurorack who would say, "Oh, I'd love
this would be
like,
cool.
I wish I could have a Dark Star instead of having to like externally patch it, you know."
Right.
But nobody at the shop has gotten really into Eurorack, and I feel like that's a big driver of that sort of thing too. Is just most of our ideas come about because we have a sound in our head that we can't find with what we have, or we're using a few pedals to do one thing, and we feel like, what if there's one pedal that could kind of combine those ideas,
or
it's just the way that we play and find ideas through that.
Or yeah, if you have a Dark Star or like a Chase Bliss pedal and you're like, I want it to be stereo, that's when Seth comes up with the amazing idea for this guy, This is crazy thing.
Just
take
more
your mono pedal and make it stereo. It's wild.
Exactly. Just plug it into any of the ins and outs, and it just becomes stereo.
It's fine. It's yeah. Shoe Gazelle says, "What sort of pedals inspired you to build, Dan? What sort of pedals?"
Ooh.
Like, I feel like I've heard you speak about your move into designing at Old Blood. Like, you started lower down on the ladder, but wait, why is Seth saying no in chat?
Oh, because you're talking about making pedals stereo by.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
I assume.
I already forgot what I did. Yeah. So yeah, once again, that is not what Split Meld does. That's just the joke. We say all the things it doesn't do.
And I shifted from clarifying to just agreeing with you, because I was like, oh, I'm on Andy's stream. I can just lie.
Just say this. It's the fake news channel. Yeah. Yeah.
What was the question? Oh yeah, what pedals inspired me to? I mean, honestly, like Old Blood stuff was because the way that it happened was I was already working at Old Blood, playing around with pedals, and then when I first started messing around with stuff, it was just overdrives. Like looking at, I've just always been really interested in overdrives, and so just breadboarding them at home, trying to learn like how do you get gain out of an op amp? What are resistors and caps? What do these components do? I was just getting interested in that stuff, and I was, asking Brady questions occasionally, and just kind of.
Brady was like, "Shut up, get out of here, I'm busy."
Yeah.
So that took
a
while.
Go do your job. Back on the drill press.
Adam Rojo says, "OAN, Othling Andy Network." That's terrible. I hate that, Adam. You're banned. Just kidding.
But yeah, so he kind of saw that happening, and because we do a lot of our digital stuff on the FV1 platform, and I think he knew that I was interested in how pedals work, and also had done a little bit of programming, and just kind of generally have that, whatever that math computer brain is that can help you along on that stuff. And he kind of just threw me the like FV1 development platform and said, like, spend a little bit of time each week with this and see if you take to it, because you seem interested in how pedals work and doing stuff with them, and that's something that we could use more of around here.
That sounds like good leadership. I'm just going to point that out really quick.
Yeah,
we love to rag on our friend Brady, but that's some good leadership there, folks.
Yep. Yeah. And so yeah, I mean that obviously grew to the point now where I'm the DSP guy at Old Blood.
Well, and don't forget, you're also the most attractive man in the world, which happened
right
at Old Blood too. Probably because of Brady as well.
I just yeah. He said, Dan, you look okay, but you could look better.
You got a lot of potential, Dan. You could really, yeah. Happy Camel says, what programming languages do you use to make digital pedals? So you said FV1 is the platform. Is there a specific language you have to write on the FV1?
Yeah, so the FV1 in particular has its own kind of assembly language that has a small set of instructions, and each
is it
program
actually
can
assembly? Because I have a degree in computer science. I had to write some freaking assembly code. It's the worst.
It's its own type of assembly. Yeah, so it's super what is it, low level? Yeah, super low level.
Yeah. Like I said, okay, see if I remember, like C, like if you compile a C program, like compiling it means converting it into assembly language, and then that ultimately you're converted down to ones and zeros and voltages and stuff. But assembly is low down there on the list of things that
very
happen.
Much so. Yeah, so it's like if you wanted to write an FV1 program that just like reads a signal and puts it out, you would say like RDAX ADCL comma 0. Now you've got a signal and it's in the accumulator. Yeah. And then you want to spit it out, you'd say WRAX DACL comma 0, and now you've cleared the accumulator and output it, and that's what the instruction set looks
See,
like.
And then all I'm saying over here is WTF, you know.
I saw you think of that and get the smile on your face. Folks, you're gonna want to watch the replay on that one.
You're gonna hold on. I should
See, the minute he thinks of that joke,
it was just like, oh, I got it. So Michael Katie says, so Dan learned hands-on. Here I thought he went to pedal college. Is Full Sail pedal college? Is that the analogous?
Full Sail.
What is there a pedal
That's
college
something
where you
right.
have to drop $300,000 and then you learn to do a BMOC, you know, whatever? Is it BMOC?
BYOC.
BYOC.
BYOC, but then you buy it and it becomes BMOC because they're like build your own clone, and you're like, build my own clone.
Yeah. Okay. I got it.
But the C programming language is super useful for other stuff. So that in the future, like a lot of what I'm working on now is going to be C stuff for deeper microcontroller stuff, and then eventually the DSP stuff. So that is still a very handy language just to finish off that.
C
that
is.
answer.
Why are people still using C? Like I learned C. I had to, one of my first assignments in my C class was like to write my own linked list, like where you had to like access memory and jump between memory points. Like what the, you don't need, who needs to do that? I feel like you shouldn't have to write C anymore. Like we can convert into assembly, you know, C compiles down to assembly. We should have another thing above C that compiles down to C so no one has to write it anymore. And then eventually the world is just these layers of languages that no one understands anymore. They're like dead. They're like, what's a dead language that we use? Like not Greek, Roman, whatever. What am I saying?
I mean, Latin, I guess.
Latin. I'm just imagining all these programming languages that like no human can understand anymore, but like we have to convert it down to assembly. But we have these 20 different languages from hundreds of years of human. I don't know what I'm saying. But anyway, that's what's in pedals, folks.
We're probably working towards something like that. Like I saw somebody ask a question about like if FE1 is similar to pure data, which I don't know much about pure data. And so I don't think it is, but I feel like pure data is like kind of in the like Max MSP-esque world.
Oh, okay.
Now maybe I'm making a totally incorrect assumption. I don't actually know that, but I feel
it's
like
okay. It's my channel. Like, you don't have to say anything correct. Apparently.
I feel like we'll work toward a point where it's like instead of assembly or C or whatever, it's just like get guitar signal, make sound cooler.
Well, that's what
guitar signal.
That's the kind of stuff I was doing at the end of my programming time. Like I was doing Python, which is like there's a library to do like you just like give me a table. You're like, all right, now you have a table. Like you don't have to do all this stuff, which is probably what I'm talking about. Like Python probably compiles down to C, which goes to assembly, which goes to whatever.
Yeah, I bet it's something like that. I feel like C is probably handy because you still have to like interact with a bunch of various hardware that's all just based on very old ideas of hardware interacting. So if you're like down at the C level, you can get pretty deep into it to make sure everything's working correctly. Whereas high level, like getting the software and the hardware to interact is probably where C becomes helpful. But
so is this conversation mostly what your work day is like? Like, is it dealing with these type of concepts? Like that, the assembly lines that you were just talking about? Like saying WAP and WTF and stuff?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, you definitely end up, full days just like staring at a data sheet, staring at your code, changing one.
What percentage of your day is spent on Google searches and then going on forums that have posts from 15 years ago where they ask the question you need the answer for and then no one responds and has the answer?
That is a huge part of what I do. When people ask how to get into pedal design, it's like, well, the question you have, Google it and just read everything. Because you're going to find some good answers sometimes and no answers other times. But if it's a no answer situation, you may still find the thing that like points you in the right direction.
It's like when you went like 20 years ago when you went to search for the guitar tabs for Back in Black,
Yeah,
and you found 5 different versions of them. None of them were correct. but you got there eventually. That's how it happened.
It is exactly that. Yeah, you read what somebody wrote about, like, here's how to do this tab. Well, that doesn't sound right. This other tab doesn't sound right. But I'm hearing both of them and I'm hearing the song, and now I have some information. So maybe if I just play a bunch of the notes around and in between the ones that are obviously wrong, I'll figure it out.
That's it.
Yeah.
You're just doing it with assembly language.
Yeah. I do a lot of stuff in Arduino too. That's which Arduino
that's
is
another one I've heard about, but I'm
C
not
type thing.
familiar.
I think it's pretty common for the microcontroller stuff.
Now, is that like Raspberry Pi thing kind of world?
Yeah, I think that's kind of like in that world, where it's Arduino is just kind of there's a whole different whole bunch of different devices in like a development environment, and it's designed for kind of DIY, like easy access, like hobbyists to be like, here's a simple set of instructions and a ton of tutorials available. And like one of the things I dealt with this week was just so we do Arduino for all of our basic like switching stuff, so like turning the pedal on and off, turning LEDs on and off. It's not actually processing any sound, it's just doing some of the assisting. And I was working on one of the new things that I can't tell you about.
And sorry, what was that pedal called?
Oh yeah, so
just
that
kidding.
was.
No, I'm trying to get you to.
Can't catch me, Andy.
And
you will in probably 10 minutes.
Well, we already know. We already like kind of know about
like
it.
I don't need to catch you.
But so I was just trying to turn a pin on and off to make a relay switch on and off to help the pedal turn on and off. And in Arduino, it's like there's a bunch of different tutorials out there where it's like, okay, you can say make pin 9 turn high, and it'll go to a high voltage, something like that. And I'm looking at all these tutorials and everything is working, and we do Arduino stuff all the time, but I'm just using a slightly different chip than we normally use, and everything is lining up, everything's checking out, except the relay is just not switching at all. And you go deeper and deeper into the forums until eventually somebody tells you, oh yeah, in the Arduino development environment, if you try to access these 2 pins out of the 32 pins of this chip, either of these 2 pins, even if you're using the internal oscillator, so you don't have to use them for external oscillator, they won't work as outputs unless you like specifically flip a bit. Instead of like writing the high level code that says make pin go high, you have to be like, DDR or equals 0B00100, whatever.
Yeah. that classic command.
And it just doesn't make any sense at all. I don't know why that was happening, and it spent me it was like 3 or 4 hours just Googling, going deep on a forum, Googling, going deep on a different forum, Googling, going deep on a different forum. Like, there it is. That's what it is. Well, I don't know why it is, but now we know.
So this is me asking you personally, because I'm like, so at the end of those 3 to 4 hours, you have gotten your answer. How do you feel after that? Do you feel good? Like, oh, good, I've just hucked myself over. I've gotten up onto this ledge, and now I feel better? Or do you just feel like a terrible person? Because I feel like a terrible person after that, kind of.
It feels good. It feels good when it works, because the trouble is sometimes you do those 3 or 4 hours, and you think you finally found the thing.
Yeah.
And then it just doesn't make a difference. And then you kind of go like, well, I learned a new thing, but it turned out not to actually fix any of the problems I have going on right now.
Right.
It's like, so if that comes in handy later, it's going to feel really good months down the line when I go, oh, that's a thing I know already from that earlier research. But if
I
it
don't
never
have to
comes
do
up,
those
it'll
4
never
hours
feel
right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we pull up these questions from the Discord earlier? Is now the time? We got like 20 minutes left.
I'll try to keep my answers shorter every time. It's like, what programming language do you use? Well, buckle up.
So
about 10 minutes.
So I'm looking at these questions for the first time. It's too bad Kylan's not here, but you could potentially answer on behalf of Kylan for some of these, Dan. Aaron wants to know, what happened to Kylan that has made him so obsessed with Creed?
Well, he listened to a lot of Creed at a young age.
And Kylan is another Old Blood employee, for those who don't know. What's Kylan's role?
Yeah, so Kylan is part of our AV team. So he is one of the people that makes those live streams happen every week. Shoots and edits a lot of video, just generally does a lot of the visual stuff that you guys see on all of our channels.
And he trolls the live streams by baiting me with bad new metal takes.
Yes. He's the only person in the room without a microphone on our live streams, which leads to
which is not
just
what it
talking
should
about
be.
Creed in the chat every time.
I really want a Kylan cam and a mic on that guy, you know. So yeah, I guess it sounds like he was just brought up with Creed. You know, some of us.
Yeah, I mean, I think he genuinely liked Creed.
I did too. I had the Human Clay album. I went to Hastings and bought it.
Yeah,
I thought that song Bullets was
that
amazing.
album's like triple platinum, right?
Yeah.
Like, I owned it. You owned it.
Yeah,
Anyone who
hit
says
us
they didn't
all.
own it is lying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And I think it just never left his life, you know.
Okay, I'm looking at these. Okay, here's one again. Well, I'm gonna go through the ones that you can answer. This is about Brady. What's
Only
it?
ask me the questions about other people at the company.
Wait, here's a good one. What's your favorite brew? What's your favorite kind of beer, or like style of beer, and then maybe a specific Oklahoma beer? Because you guys have pretty good beer there, or at least it's
We
better than
do.
I would have thought.
Yeah, there's some good ones out there. I feel like everywhere is starting to get better in terms of like their local breweries, like
Except
just
for Texas. Listen, Texas has always sucked. Like they have these big cities. Austin's good, but Dallas and Houston severely lacking on their beer. It should be way better than it is.
Interesting.
It
Yeah,
should be
I'm probably
way better.
thinking of Austin breweries when I think good Texas beer.
Austin is good, but like you think of Dallas,
Yeah.
what's a good Dallas beer?
yeah, that's a
Anyone?
good question.
No, there's no good Dallas beers. All right. Anyway, Texas, get your shit together.
But yeah, I feel like, I mean, I've just been on the hazy IPA train the last couple of years, like everybody
Like
else
everybody.
has. So, like right now, I've got a Stone Cloud Astro Dog in my fridge. That's a really good
I had
local one.
When I was there with you last time, I had one of those at
Oh, yeah,
what's the
that's
restaurant
right.
we go to? Or you got
McNally's. McNally's.
McNally's. I've been there with you twice. I'm like the restaurant we go to.
It is the restaurant we go to, though. It's
But it
anybody
is.
like if anybody comes to visit, we're like, let's go to McNally's.
It's a cool spot too. I've sat in the
It's a
same
good one.
table with you guys twice.
There's that little room you can get that is just perfect for pedal hangs.
So Shoe Gazelle is saying, I knew this would pop up. Deep Ellum is a Dallas beer. I think they're pretty mediocre. That's my take. Deep Ellum is a mediocre brewery.
I feel like I've had good Deep Ellum stuff, but I cannot bring to mind any particular ones. So
It's
yeah,
because
maybe
they were
they've
all
just been
mediocre.
Pretty
Dan.
good.
That's why. They were mediocre. St. Arnold in Houston is good. I've been to St. Arnold's. Their brewery is in an old high school in the gym, or not the gym, the
Interesting.
freaking lunchroom. It's super weird. Carbach is okay. I've had Carbach. All right, everyone's trying to defend Texas. Stop it.
Texas has some fine beers, but
Look.
listen, Stone Cloud,
Stonecloud.
Vanessa House
Vanessa
here in
House.
Oklahoma City makes some really great stuff. I think you probably had a Broken Tile double IPA from Vanessa House too
Yes.
while you were here, because that's another solid one. They actually did a collaboration beer with us. We did a pedal pop up like 2 Black Fridays ago, or two, not Black Friday, but around that time, two Novembers ago, and they brewed a beer called Holiday Sleigh in honor of our usual Halo tournament around the holidays.
Oh yeah.
And it's like an imperial stout with like cocoa and vanilla and chilies and cinnamon, I think.
That
And they
sounds like
just-
the perennial Abraxas, which is out of St. Louis, which is, I can't believe you know
Ooh,
that.
Nice. It's also kind of similar to the Prairie Bomb, which is another
Yes.
Oklahoma City beer that a lot of folks may have had. I was
Yes.
up in Michigan recently and saw Prairie up there, and it's always strange seeing them out and about other places.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Vanessa House just canned the Holiday Sleigh again last season, and still got some of those in the fridge. And so those are the two, like my 2 beer preferences are like a hazy IPA or a really complicated imperial
Or
stout.
like a 45% alcohol content
Yeah.
bourbon barrel aged stout. Yeah.
Yep.
Also,
Bourbon
Mark
County,
Johnston in the
KBS.
chat. The Mark Johnston says, "Good for Dallas isn't the same as good. Texas continues to underdeliver." And I think that's going to be the last word on Texas from the big Mark. You know. So.
You got to
And-
give it to him.
And Seth agreeing in the chat saying Oklahoma's beer game is way stronger than Texas, which I agree with 1,000%. So.
Yeah, we have a really strong scene here.
I'll say New Mexico is better than Texas. I believe that firmly. Albuquerque by itself is better than all of Texas. Boom! Wait, I'm trying to get my scenes right. I did the zoom. I'm just loving streaming, folks.
Michigan is really interesting. Sorry, go ahead, Dave.
Oh, you know what? Never mind.
Dave's not a beer guy. You were probably going to pretend like you know.
I was going to talk about an old meme format, and I was like, you know what? Nobody's even going to care about that. That format's like 3 years old. Whatever.
I was just gonna say that the beer scene in Michigan is really interesting because they have a lot of really good breweries and like Founders and Bells. There's a lot of like older, like early great microbreweries. But I think because of that, it's just ubiquitous. It's like there's so many breweries in Michigan that there's some really good ones and some pretty good ones and some okay ones and some not so good ones. And so it's interesting like visiting a place that is just like so full of breweries that I feel like now when I go, it's a question of like, is this going to be good or weird? Or actually, shout out to Holmes Brewing in Ann Arbor, Michigan, because I've been there the last couple times of visiting, and they make some really good stuff. So that's one of the newer breweries on my radar.
All right.
Very tasty. HOMES, like the abbreviation for the 5 Great Lakes. Holmes Brewing.
Oh. I get it.
Yeah, I did not get it until my wife. I think wife also didn't get it. Somebody in the family was like, "Oh my god, I just realized." After like the second or third visit, like Holmes, like the Great Lakes thing.
Nice.
Which apparently all Michiganders know, but I did not remember that. So.
This is sort of a different-ish question that I'd be interested to know for you, Dan. What is y'all's favorite movie? And if you had to pick a pedal that represents the movie the best, what would it be? That's an interesting question.
Ooh. I
It's
feel
an
like
interesting question by aliens and Bigfoot are real.
And Dave, as you put it in this document, it does say aliens and Bogfoot are real. So I'm not sure what Bogfoot is. But I hope I don't get that. Listen, if you've got Bogfoot in chat, you need to go to the doctor, all right? Anyway,
Bogfoot are real it's a bad statement.
all your Bogfoot are belong to us, I think.
Man, I feel like this is like a Brady and Seth question, though. They are the film buffs of the group, and I know
they
that
would
like,
be able to talk.
Dune is very procession, and like
Ooh,
I'm sure
yeah.
2001 has led to some various ideas.
Okay, but we're talking Dan. Screw those other guys. Screw Brady. Screw Seth. Let's talk about Dan, and however you say your last name.
Oh yeah,
Pikachek.
Pihacek.
Is it really Pihacek?
Yeah, Pihacek. Yeah.
Pihacek.
You have to you have to listen to it just like Pihacek, and not look at it.
Look at it. It's like the word solder. God, this is my thing. I look at the word solder and I'm like SOLDER, solder.
Solder.
I hate the word. I hate that word so much. Anyway, continue. Tell us about your favorite movie, Dan.
I'm literally trying to come up with a favorite movie.
Or like
now,
what style? Are you like give me an action movie where stuff's blowing up? Give me The Notebook where everyone's crying all the time and I feel emotional.
I'm like some like. I mean, I'm always down with like a classic rom-com.
Okay.
I'm always down with like a very silly type of like a David Wayne kind of silliness, like Wet Hot American Summer. They came together kind of.
Man, they came together.
Sometimes
so
just like
on. It's so good.
It is really good. That's a movie that it's rare that I've watched a movie twice, and that was one that
movie.
Like,
what is this movie?
It is actually. I mean, it's kind of a parody of like a classic rom-com where like New York is the fifth character kind of rom-com, where it's been a while, so I'm trying to remember. It's like Amy Poehler and Paul Rudd, and it's just think of like the David Wayne style of kind of earnest silliness applied to like a what's her name, like When Harry Met Sally,
like
style
Seattle
rom-com
kind of thing.
It's great. It's really good because it also like it plays with those tropes in a way where I do enjoy a movie that will parody something in such a loving way that you'll like recognize it as parody and be able to laugh about it, but will also end up having the same feelings that the actual thing will give you. So you have those moments along the way where you're like, oh, I'm actually feeling for these characters, even though they're obviously like silly caricatures that I keep laughing at too.
Now could
maybe we drilled down to a favorite type of movie, actually.
Maybe we did. And now I'm going to take it a bit further and say take those concepts and apply them to pedals. And I think that's how you came up with Dweller. You're like, Phaser is boring, you know? What the whole thing you just said, you could have said about Dweller, I think.
Yeah.
Which, why don't you try to say it again, but say it about Dweller instead of the movie?
Okay, yeah. So it's about lampooning the thing that's silly while simultaneously accessing the emotions of it. So when you hear a phaser, it's about motion and space. And you look at Dweller and it's about motion and space, but it's a joke on this idea that like, what is a phaser? It's just a bunch of all pass
It's not
filters.
A joke pedal, folks.
What if all the all pass filters had like all the memory in the world? What if they could just like remember way more? It would be like, I mean, like it would be such a silly idea. Like what even is an all pass filter? Like what's the point? What's the difference between a phaser and a reverb at that point? But like, I do feel phaser. I feel the
you feel it
and the space, and I can laugh at how silly it is because like it has some goofy.
Because it's a bit of a caricature.
Yeah.
On the phaser idea.
This is blowing my mind.
This is some deep
stuff.
stuff.
You were able to pinpoint that and like then articulate it that way is so funny to me.
But it's
we're drilling down into the matrix. There's like some kind of like I can start to see the numbers and letters and stuff, you know.
That was a weird deep dive where it was just like, what's your favorite movie? It's like, I don't know. I haven't thought about what my favorite movie is in a while. I don't know. Let me just throw some ones that I've enjoyed out there. Yeah, I guess what I like about this one is this super deep element of it. And then Andy makes the connection. And then someone's like,
see, yeah, this is what.
Who am I? Is this who I am?
This is
like,
me. I
the
guess
mix of earnestness and silliness.
I've been in therapy for a couple of years. So this is me like doing therapy to you as I understand it. Like, all right, now let's connect these two things. What does that feel like to you? What was in the chat?
I just saw somebody ask if I have some Europe roots.
Yeah, that one.
A classmate was Pihaček too, and they're from Czech Republic. And yeah, my dad has always said that Pihaček is Slovakian. So his grandparents came over from Slovakia, I believe, or maybe great grandparents. I don't have like a real connection to that like side of the family. My grandpa, Grandpa Pihaček died before I was born, so I like didn't really meet him or wasn't really connected to kind of that.
Is that name pretty?
But yes, yeah.
Is that name pretty unique here? Do you run into any other Pihačeks?
It's pretty unique. Everyone's like, I've never met another Pihaček. You know, I did the early Facebook thing of like, let's find all the Pihačeks.
Right.
It was like, oh, there's a Pihaček group for Pihačeks, and everyone's just like, yep, we're Pihačeks.
What's up, everybody? Hi.
Yeah.
How's it going?
I did notice that I can't remember if it's danpihaček.com or danielpihaček.com, but there's a registered website for somebody with my exact name already.
Wild.
I didn't even want to register, but I just thought like if I were to, you know, Dan Pihaček's site, I built this site using Mobilize. Okay, so.
Okay, well, we're not. This isn't a sponsored stream, so like, try not to say any brands and stuff.
Not a sponsor.
I read it out loud because I'd never heard of it. Daniel Pihaček. Okay, I could be danielpihaček.com.
That sounds pretty good.
Take that on as a new nickname, just in life. Just if you could call me Daniel.
Can you start calling me Daniel now? Actually, I mean, you could do that. That would be within your rights. It's a free country. Philosophical pedal design with Dan. Just a Dan fan site, a Dan site, if you will. Why don't you start? The Dan, a forum just for Dan, a wiki just for Dan and all his lore. Which pedals go with which movies that you love? You know, we already figured out one. So Dweller is that movie you just said. What is? How about Reflector? Did you do Reflector?
I did a revision of Reflector. So
okay, so you did a sequel to a movie. Which sequel did you do? answer. Also, but I think Seth did say later or earlier in the chat, he said Joe Dirt is his favorite movie, and it reminds him of Headphone Amp. So,
Like that.
I'm waiting for your answer, Dan. Like, we're gonna sit here in silence until you can answer.
I'm trying to come up with my answer. So okay, so
Has
reflectors washed mode is.
You know, you could just say Fast and Furious, the second one.
I was gonna
don't
bail
know.
you out, but then I saw you were going for it, and I was like, "Oh, he's going for it."
Oh no,
so-
I heard you start talking and I trailed. Like I'll just
Both
let
of you were
Dave
like,
rise
wait,
and
yeah,
I'll
you
drop.
Has anyone in history said before today, before like 2 minutes ago, that their favorite movie is Joe Dirt?
Have you ever looked at Drill's likes on Twitter?
No.
The only tweets he likes are Joe Dirt, where he talks about doing his own shit, I think. I'm looking right now.
That's incredible.
Drill. Yeah, so if you look at his likes, it's only... Oh, yeah, it's only a Joe Dirt account where he constantly says the same thing. It just says, I got the poo on me. And this is the only tweets he's liked.
Wow.
So, just it's little internet stuff for you guys. It's kind of the one thing you will get on this channel that you won't get most other places, you know? Where else are you going to find out what tweets Drill has liked throughout his career posting, you know?
It's 2 places.
Oh, Gummy Papa
Drill's
wants
Twitter
you to...
account and right here, right now.
Yeah. Gummy Papa wants you to say Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat.
Thank you, Gummy Papa.
I just really like made myself laugh there. Like, what if I just earnestly said Mortal Kombat as if I wasn't even talking about a movie? Like somebody just wanted me to say the words Mortal Kombat.
Like that's your Manchurian Candidate phrase. Like Dan is now activated. We finally got him to say Mortal Kombat out loud. So and I think that's still Seth talking about Airbud 2. Could be a good option.
Oh yeah, everybody too, because
Alex-
I'm alone in my principles.
Alex says Andy is basically running Dan through the split melt. Yeah, that is this. We're making all the connections here on this stream. I really love it. It's all coming together. All right, well, we're almost at the end here. Does anyone else have any questions for Dan, or questions for the other employees of Old Blood that you can force Dan to try to answer when he probably won't actually know the answer? You know, we could do that too.
But we might find out the answer together.
I mean, we've been doing that as well. Learning.
Now we all know here all the things that are being worked on, and so we don't need to talk about them amongst ourselves. But if we were going to talk about them, about the new ideas, we would definitely talk about the new pedal called, you know, the one I'm thinking of. Called,
what was it, Dan?
Oh yeah, Santa Claus 2.
That was pretty good.
Gummy Papa wants
that was
to know-
the first movie sequel that came to mind when you asked about movie sequels, and I was like, "That's."
Is that the
I
one with
cannot
Tim
remember the
Allen?
last time I've seen that one. Yeah.
Okay,
I watched
great.
Santa Claus over this last Christmas because I wanted to watch.
I was hoping you were
going
going
to
to say over
Christmas
spring
movies,
break or
but-
something. Like I took my. You know,
We're
the
coming up on
classic
spring break, so it
spring
should be
break
time
watch.
for Santa Claus 3 anytime.
Santa Claus 2, my favorite spring break movie.
Oh no, you know what? Reflectors washed mode.
Okay.
Is Adam's Family Values.
Ah.
That's a great sequel that I've loved since I
See?
was a kid.
Wow.
And watched recently and enjoyed again.
There we
We
go.
got we
folks.
just needed to talk about other stuff. That's how.
All right,
that's
so
how
we're learning
my
how
brain works on a lot
therapy
of
can
things.
work for you, Dan.
We ask a question. We
See?
guys, I gotta go.
All right, Dan. Well, that'll be $85. We'll see how much your healthcare covers, but I'm gonna need that payment, by the end of the hour. So, Andy
sorry, you
at
were
Korean
saying
Camp just says beans ? That I don't know. Does that mean something to you, Dan? Beans ?
Does not mean anything to me, but like beans. Yeah.
Okay. The Timber Owls. Maybe last question here. This could be a good one. What's your favorite Nick Cage movie?
Ooh.
I know what mine is.
It's been a while, but
It's been a while.
It's okay. So let's visit middle school Dan,
Okay.
Gone in 60 Seconds,
Okay.
and then we visit like college or like early 20s Dan,
Uh-huh.
Adaptation,
Uh-huh.
and then we visit current Dan, and he hasn't watched a Nick Cage movie in a while, so I guess he'll still just
Current
say
Dan should watch
Adaptation.
Mandy. You like horror movies?
Oh, I have heard Mandy's really good.
It's
I have
really
not seen it
good.
though.
That's my favorite Nick Cage movie. But I would be similar I remember liking that movie Family Man. You know that movie? With Nick Cage where he's the family
Oh
man?
yeah.
Where he's the family
He's
man.
the family man. He keeps his family
know.
together. It's kind of nice. I don't know. It's a good movie. But yeah, Mandy's good. You should watch Mandy. It's really good.
I'll have to check that out. Yeah.
All right. Well, this was fun. No one else from your dang company came on here. What the heck?
Yeah, it's just me.
Which is fine. We love
Really missing Kylan. I was hoping he would jump
Kylan.
in.
What an enigma, that guy. You can't pin him down. You can't. He's just like in the chat when he wants to be.
Yeah.
Super elusive. So, Dan, do you want to say anything? Do you want to tell people to go somewhere? You want people to join your Discord?
Yeah, just check out Old Blood stuff. If you
Get an old blood pedal.
if you enjoyed all this chit chat, if you enjoy They Came Together, buy yourself a Dweller, because it's
And
There you
two
go.
sides of the same coin.
Adam's Family. What'd you say? That one.
Values.
Oh yeah, Adam's Family Values.
Values. If you like that movie, you get a reflector, right? That's what it is.
Yes, yeah, I think. Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, you're good, Seth. Seth, you did make it. I'm literally talking to you right now while you're apologizing
that's
for not
true,
being
that's true.
here, which is silly. Stop it.
But yeah, I mean, oldbloodnoise.com. Join our Discord. Keep up with us.
And there's
we
stuff
are working
happening.
on lots of new things. So one of those new things you're going to find out about through Andy. Well, probably all the things you're going to find out about through Andy. We're always wanting to hear your take on things. But yeah,
I'll give you some takes.
There's a thing we've been working on.
Hey,
Pretty exciting.
so what do you think about this? You know, that's Dan sends me these voice messages. He's like, so what do you think about that? And then I get a,
Andy, I was thinking,
don't know why.
what if it was
And I'm like-
filters?
and I'm like, wait, what was that? Hold on, folks. What did I just hear?
What?
Did you guys hear that?
Yeah, you dropped something on stream. Is what I heard.
Literally, my heater. I knocked my heater over. But Dan, I couldn't quite hear you there. I thought you said something. I don't know what that was. I think we'll move on though. From
Yeah, no,
whatever
yeah,
that
I don't
was.
think I said anything.
It's too high pitched for me.
Yeah, I don't even. That was super annoying. So, okay, but we're gonna end the stream. You should follow Old Blood on YouTube because
Yes.
normally this would be happening on your stream, and Seth would be running it, and Seth's doing a great job, and you and Brady normally are leading it, playing pedals. Brady normally drinks a smoothie, which is cool. Again, Kylan's in the chat talking about new metal, which could be cool to some of you. Yeah, it's very fun. And next week we're having, is it Clint from Deep Space
yeah,
Devices?
Clint McDuffie is our guest from Deep Space Devices.
Who-
So yeah, we often have guests on. We always have Andy as our co-host, and then often a guest might be
Yeah.
a pedal builder or a demo person or just
And
just a
so
friend we want to chit chat with.
yeah, and to show you how small the world is, so Dave, when we went to Postfest last year, Clint was there with us.
Yeah,
Nice.
So that was pretty cool.
it's small. The world is
Very
small.
small world.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's the end of this, folks. And buy some pedals from Dan. Go watch those movies, I guess. I think you have to do that now.
Also, thanks for having me, and thanks for all the
Oh, yeah.
questions, everybody.
Yeah.
That was.
It was fun.
I figured I would not have much to talk about, but you guys had a lot of questions, and so we got to get into it.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Learn
All right.
about you guys, learn about myself.
Yeah, we got you to learn about yourself. Wow, we just grew emotionally open as men. You know, so cool.
I love that.
I love being emotionally open with my homies. You know.
Yep.
Darren says, "Round of applause to Andy for being on his best behavior today." Yeah, I forgot to drink a beer. So, all right. Well, folks, ending the stream. Enjoy the rest of your Friday or whatever day. Enjoy your time left on this planet. I love you. Goodbye.